to people just like last time. Every Thursday, we like to talk about tools and online services that we use, that we like, that we don't like, that we used to love and we fell out of love with because something else came along that was cuter or sexier or does more or is cheaper. And so today I'm going to try to shut up as much as possible, and no promises. And instead, John and Heather and Dr. V are going to talk about their favorite and most used tools. And if Dr. V can stay in the feed, there we go. And so I'm going to turn it over to John first. And John's going to talk about the tools that he uses the most every day and every week and would really recommend to people. So,
Sounds
Mr.
good.
John.
All right. So my tools for today are focused mainly around video, and I picked out some different ones that are kind of unique. So two of them are products that you use to connect with. You use video to actually connect or send through emails and the like. Two are used for creating videos, and one is a storage platform for videos. So let me dig in. I'll try the old share my screen thing. We'll see how that works out. All right. I guess what I'll do is try. You can share my entire screen, I guess. Maybe not. I think that's going to be the easiest way here. Then I can go from one to another. So,
Yeah, sure.
okay. So the first one we'll talk a little bit about is Warm Welcome. So there's two products that I use to connect with people, new clients, people who are leads, and this is kind of an alternative to Loom, except you can actually use it. It's got its own built-in CRM, and you can actually send video emails between people. I haven't really figured out which one is the winner yet. I've had a few little issues with Warm Welcome. There's another product, I think it's called Bonjourno, that is like these two, but they work great. We use them a lot to connect with our new students, new customers, and then, like I said, if you ever want to send like a real personalized message back and forth to someone, it works great. So one of them was Warm Welcome. The other is Dub. You will see this when I switch between.
Yep. 1 second. I have a question about
Yeah,
warm
go
welcome.
ahead. Shoot.
So is that's an outbound
It is outbound.
tool as opposed to like people have already signed up to hear from you, like with MailChimp or something.
Well, you can use it. You can use it a bit for both.
Right.
So what you can do is you can bring over those contacts that you want to maybe have a little more personal touch with, and you can load them into Warm Welcome and send out email messages.
Okay.
So,
Hmm.
but these two are both very similar. The one thing that I like particularly about Dub is that it lets you do screen capture. So
Right.
if you wanted to do something that's a long screen capture to send to a client, like for instance, what we were doing yesterday, maybe you wanted to rewrite a portion of a person's website and send an email to them saying, "Hey, look, I just went through your website. I noticed you've got some issues with it. Probably not in that exact language, but
So
but
it's
here
kind
it
of
is.
like
Here it is.
Loom, but it also adds the email capability because Loom really is around the video capture, but not so much around the
Yep.
email experience.
Yeah, so it combines kind of some features that most people probably use Loom for, but
Right.
it's much deeper than that. It's got its own built-in CRM. Both of these do, and they work pretty
Okay.
cool. So those are two of my favorite video tools for, like I said, emailing new customers, making new contacts, and nothing makes a nice new contact better than a warm video.
Right.
InVideo is a tool that we use to make short videos quite frequently. Dr. V's wife especially likes using InVideo. She's been using a lot for her food blogging channel,
Right.
and it just lets you go in and create short videos. It has stock footage, literally anything that you need to create a video, and it's pretty easy to use.
So
Yeah, go ahead.
So do you upload the video or do you use their app to like record the video and then it's on a website and you can edit it from there?
You actually use their app, so
Okay.
everything is all built in, everything that you need, including templates and footage, and um, you can just literally make a video right here online.
And it's a multi-track editor? You know what I mean? Like you can lay in your own music or choose music to go under it and
Yeah,
that kind of stuff.
yeah, I believe it's
It's not
a
like what I have
mobile
on my iPhone where it's just I can trim it on either side, and that's basically all I can do.
because
You know,
you can add
with
in music and everything to them.
okay.
Absolutely. So it's a pretty full featured video creation
You know how
tool.
much the and
Very easy to
how
use.
much do these tools cost, like, roughly? I know their prices are always changing, and
Well,
if you
you know
sign up
what?
for long enough,
Let's.
it's cheap.
I'm glad you asked. Let's go back to the beginning and we'll just pull it up. So warm welcome. Pricing plans are $8 per month startup, $24 a month professional, and $40 a month growth.
That's pretty cheap.
Yeah, I'd suggest the professional for most people is going to be the sweet spot. Hence why
Right.
they put it in the middle, right?
Yeah.
Dub, I think, is similar. Oh wait, no. I love it when they try to tell you stuff when you're here. Let's see if we can find pricing. They're a little more hidden with their pricing. I went through it yesterday. I think their middle plan was like $36 or something. But then again, it's a little more feature packed. I'm not seeing pricing right on the front page. Let's see. Online video editing. In video. In video comes up sometimes too on an AppSumo special every once in a while. Never fails when you share. It's like nothing wants to cooperate with you.
Looks like Dub is about $32 a month.
Roughly, yeah. I think right around $32 a month. Yeah, InVideo is not cooperating. I'll keep moving along.
Yeah.
Wave Video, very similar to InVideo, but they also have streaming studio, thumbnail maker, very different kinds of tools with it, but also great video creation app to create videos quickly.
So more around the extra stuff you'd want around your video to drive traffic to it.
Yeah. Okay, pricing. They've got a free, they've got Streamer 16,
I'm kinda
Creator
surprised by
24,
how
Business
low
48.
prices of the video-based stuff, because there's a lot of bandwidth involved in that stuff.
Well, and storage. So a lot
Yeah.
of bandwidth, a lot of storage. So very surprising how inexpensive some of these tools are. Um, and like I said, most things that you would want are here. You know, the ability to create your thumbnails, stock footage that you can connect to. And oftentimes, though, there's a little more. You pull up a piece of stock footage, and it might say that it's going to cost you extra for a particular piece.
Right.
Kind of like going onto Canva when it says, "Oh, and by the way,
Yeah.
this piece of footage isn't free." So this is one I came across a little while ago. I liked it because I wanted someplace to store my videos after I'd created them. And this thing pretty much has the ability to give you nearly unlimited storage, like a huge amount monthly. Great for creating videos, hosting them, streaming them. Um, and
Is
you
it the
can
same kind of model that Vimeo uses where you get an allocation per month, and if you don't use it all, then it's gone, and then you can
no,
upload X number of month the next month?
I I think yeah, it is similar in that way. You do get an X amount a month, but it's a larger amount than I recall Vimeo being. And the one thing that I really like about it is you can actually put calls to action on your own videos.
Right.
So you could treat it like your own YouTube channel of sorts, where you could drive traffic to your videos on Adillo and have call to actions for your own videos. So then
But
they're not
unlike
looking
Vimeo,
at.
this isn't a place where you would send someone to watch a video necessarily, is it? Oh, I guess it is if
No,
you're
you
using
can. You
actions, yeah.
can. That's one of the benefits
So
of
it's
it.
a Vimeo competitor.
It is a Vimeo competitor, but I think they've gone a few steps above Vimeo in the fact
Right.
that you can have your own calls to action, very specific. There's a lot of great features to this.
Do we know how much this one costs? Because I
Let me
pay a
see.
decent amount for Vimeo, I'll tell you.
It it
And
might
I don't use nearly as much storage on it as I could.
okay. Forever plan, sign up free, pricing. Sure, it's going to be down the way here, I guess, somewhere. Let's see. Here we go. So this is what we're looking at for pricing
Right.
and storage, etc. Again, this was one that I found originally on AppSumo, and I really like it.
Hmm.
So
Oh, you
far,
know
it's
what?
been
Probably
great.
a lot of people have never heard of AppSumo. You should bring that up real quick.
Well, let me bring AppSumo
Explain
up
what
here.
AppSumo is.
Sure.
Over the years, most of us on this call have gotten some amazing deals on
We
AppSumo.
have. I'm pretty sure you probably got Mailshake there. I know I did.
Yeah, I definitely got Mailshake from there, and I think I got Vidyard from there too.
Yeah. So what I like about this is I hate
So what is
paying.
AppSumo?
Well, first let me intro into it. So I think most people hate paying for software on subscription, and you and I are both a bit of software junkies. I used to work in the software industry.
Me too.
So AppSumo is a place where a product creator who creates software or any kind of product, really, it doesn't have to be software, but most of the time it's software. They come to get some traction for their product and get some introduction of it to the market.
So
And
basically, just for folks to understand what you just said, AppSumo has a very large mailing list and a big fan base of people who like to try out new software or get
yes,
really big discounts. And so in exchange for you as a maybe independent or small company software developer or software service, in exchange for you providing a very big discount to AppSumo's audience, AppSumo features you, and so you're making less per sale, but especially if you don't have a lot of customers to start with or whatever, you can get access to a very large audience with a proven history of buying software like yours.
yeah,
And so it's a trade-off. You're giving up a lot of your margin to get reach and sort of critical mass and become known. A lot of companies, a lot of software companies and services started off on AppSumo selling there, and then just became so well known that they just never needed to sell on AppSumo again. Now they just sell on their own websites, and everyone knows about them.
well, it's funny too. I see a lot of software companies that are well established that
Yeah,
actually come over too to just kind of top off or level off, or I don't know if they're just looking to gain additional income or
or
what it might
sometimes they
be,
have like a new product,
or that.
so they'll come
Yep.
back in order to start the process all over again. Yeah.
Yeah, or they made some upgrades and additions.
Yeah,
And
and
so a
you'll
lot of
see from this page, a lot of AppSumo stuff it's a one-time lifetime. So I'll give you an example. I use
yeah,
Mailshake, like we talked about last time, which
me
is how I
too.
do outbound, and so does John, outbound mail campaigns. Right now, Mailshake costs, I think, $39 or $49, or for the plan that the equivalent of mine costs something like $79 a month.
Yeah,
And when John and I bought ours way back, we didn't know each other back then, but when we bought ours, we paid $75 one time for a lifetime subscription instead of $79 a month like it is now. So clearly, I might never move off of Mailshake because I've already paid for it years ago and gotten my money many, many times over.
right. So the other thing that I think is great about it is a lot of times we go, man, I'd really like a piece of software for X,
Yeah,
but we don't really know where to get it or
right.
whatever. And this is a great place to kind of go and see if X exists
If you have a problem,
and
it's
find a
like
deal
I
on it.
can't be the first person who's had this problem.
Right. No. And in fact, it's great because they have all the reviews of the products and everything
Right.
else. Oops,
Ooh,
I should have stopped sharing
you
first.
incepted us again.
I'm sorry. But yeah, it is a great place to kind of go and find unique pieces of software that fill a
Yeah.
particular application for you.
Cool. All right. Yeah, AppSumo was amazing. All right, let's switch over to Heather. I'm just letting people go in order of when they showed up in the studio. It's really
Right.
nothing more complicated than that,
Let me grab my screen.
which means we're going to connect and disconnect Dr. V several times.
Oh no.
We're going to force him to upgrade his computer.
Dr. V, if you're not on mute, you've lost your audio again. Yep.
Yeah.
I know.
Well, I
Buy
want
a new computer.
to.
It's 7 years old, dude.
It's the microphone.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
Well, I want
sorry,
to talk.
Heather.
Can you see my screen? Did I do the screen
Oh,
share
wait.
right?
Yes,
No,
I have to turn it
probably.
on,
Dean
apparently.
hasn't turned it
There
on
we
yet.
go.
There we go. So I have a few of my favorite tools for content creation. I'm going to go specifically with writing this time, but the first tool
Right.
is great for what to create your content about. So it's called Answer the Public. It's just at
Yes.
answerthepublic.com. And it taps into search engine data to see what real human beings are searching for. So you put in
Right.
your topic. So let's put in productivity is one of my favorites. And you let it search, and then it will give you tons of search results. It gives you pretty pictures for your search results, but you can also just download a CSV file. But it breaks it down by questions. These first ones are questions. How do I make you go away? Go away. Oh, that didn't go away. The first ones are questions. And here's the X. And so you can see here, and you'll see there's darker dots and lighter dots, and it's more frequency that question is put in the search engine more times. So which productivity tool you used frequently and why? So what a great, I mean, if I'm a blogger or I'm looking to have a podcast topic, I can just grab that and that right there. Find the question you can answer, write your blog post.
Right.
And then they have, I think, these prepositions and different ways that people are putting information in there. So this helps not just for, structuring your own language, but I mean, you just come here, you grab a topic and you find what you can answer.
That's awesome.
Start writing. And then if you want to get really fancy, I think your average blog writer doesn't need to do this, but if this is your jam or you are working with, your consultant from companies, that kind of thing, you can look into the paid. So it's not inexpensive, but you get 10 searches for free. So if you are like me, solopreneur, that's more than enough. That's more than enough for using the free. The next one that I really like is called Hemingway. If you haven't been using Hemingway, you absolutely 1,000,000% need to use Hemingway. It's totally free. So you grab your blog post that you've just drafted and you pop it into Hemingway, and Hemingway will tell you a number of things. You'll see in the upper right-hand corner that it'll tell you what grade level you're writing at. And especially for anything that's on the internet, like, you need to bring that grade level down. People are skimming largely, including your blogs.
Mm-hmm.
So unless you have a really meaty, beefy blog for a high level, highly educated audience, right? When we're ready to dive in, fine, you can bring your reading level up a little bit. But when you're trying to grab attention and give people little nuggets of information, then you want to really keep that reading level low. And then it looks at how many adverbs you use. You get an allotment, the use of passive voice, simpler language, and then hard to read sentences and very hard to read sentences. So I thought I'd give us a little example. Seth Godin's known for being very, very structured in his writing, and my guess was his reading level was going to be nice and low. So I popped him in there, and you can see we've got here, he's at grade 3. He's got a few uses of the passive voice and a few adverbs, but none of his sentences are hard to read and none of his sentences are very hard to read. So he's definitely got that one nailed. And then I thought I'd put myself on the hot seat and grab something from one of my most recent blogs, because I tend to be a little bit wordy and a little bit drift into saying too much. So I popped mine in there, and that chunk actually didn't do too terribly bad. But you can see I have a sentence that really needs to be chopped down, and you can see, a few too many uses of adverbs. My reading grade level is 7. So you looked in Seth Godin's was at 3, mine's at 7. So you can kind of see that.
So Hemingway is sorry to interrupt, but we talk every once in a while about it's our responsibility to go 90% of the way towards the reader or the listener or the viewer to do the communication work. And they're only responsible for the last 10%. Hemingway is a great tool for that, because it makes you do all the work, so that if they skim or they read just read it quickly or give you a little bit of attention, you're not bogging them down with stuff and expecting them to take apart your sentence and understand what it is you're actually trying to say. Oh, I will say, because we're not able to put comments in, we can read comments from LinkedIn using the service, but we can't post them. Hemingway has one M in it, and it's hemingwayapp.com. For everyone else on every other platform, it's in the chat.
Nice. And the other thing I like about Hemingway and the next tool that I'll show you is when you use them regularly, they begin to train you. Yes. So you'll start thinking as you're typing your blog post, whoa, Hemingway's going to, highlight this one in red. I got to chop this down into smaller sentences. And so you start using them all the time. And then this one, and especially the next one, you start using them, and then you start getting really good at them. And your need for the tool actually lessens over time, which probably isn't great for anyone trying to make a buck, but Hemingway's a freebie.
Yeah.
The last one is one of my favorites. It's called CoSchedule's Headline Studio. And this is where so you figured out what you want to write about, but using big data from search engines. You write your blog post and you get it down to a good reading grade level and good use of language. And now we need to go back and put in our headline, pick our headline and our subheads. So when we go in and do that, we can come here to Headline Studio and put in whatever we're thinking of using for our headline. So here's one that I used recently. And this is for another LinkedIn Live that I'm doing for somebody who's talking about kind of some mental health issues. And so we put in how to combat negative thoughts and feel better during difficult times. That's what we ended up with. So we're in the green. You want to get into the green. So they've gamified writing your headlines, which is just so much fun. And then they'll rate it based on a bunch of different criteria. The first one being your word use. So CoSchedule has looked at, and their data comes from looking at blogs and who clicks on and opens what blogs, right? So they're looking at what kinds of words and what kind of sentence structures grab people. So they want a mix of common, uncommon, emotional, and power words. And there are resources on there to see what kinds of words are what. But you can see for my sentence, I am loaded with power words, probably have more than I need. I don't have any uncommon words in there. And so I can futz around with the headline until I get a really good score. One of the things I'll say about this is it's kind of fun. It's gamified. And the difference between a headline score of 80 and 85 probably isn't a whole lot. But the difference between 1 hour and 2 hours and 3 hours and 4 hours screwing around with headlines is huge in my day. So once you get into the green, which is about 70, so those of you who have the, regular grading system of I have to get a 90 or above, you need to throw that one out the window. You need to get a 70 or above, unless you're looking at your primary headline, or if you use it to create headers on your website or a landing page, spend a little extra time for those because you're really looking for conversions. But if you're blogging regularly, I think you got to really balance the amount of time that you want to spend. They do look at a couple other things in terms of your word and character count. They have 3 types of posts they really like. They like how-tos, they like lists, so anything that begins with a number, and they like questions, right? And these are things that tend to really grab us, right? We see a question, we want to know the answer. A list just sounds like I want to see, we know the kinds of things that we click on. And then they prefer positive sentiment. Negative sentiment, I think you still get a few points, but just don't be neutral.
Right.
And then they look at clarity, and then your skimmability using primacy and recency. So what we hear first and what we hear last, we grab onto. And they want your topic to be either at the very beginning or the very end. So it's a really nice, so the first time you come here, you take your time with it and you play a little bit. The next time it gets faster and faster and faster. And you can see, I think I came up with this headline like right off the cuff when I was speaking to my presenter, because I've done this a million times. So I use it less now, unless I'm going into something for our landing page or something along those lines. So, and the pricing, if you want, so again, I don't know what the limitations are. They will try to give you some upsells in here. And if you do this a lot, I've never run out of, you'll lose your history, but I've never run out of the ability to use it. But I pulled up the pricing page. If this is like your jam or your professional blogger, professional writer, and you want to use their premium levels with their headlines, which will give you the smart suggestions, SEO score, the full version history, and their word banks, you can pay a few bucks for for more headlines per month.
Cool.
Oh. And I actually don't know if I know how to stop. Here we go. Let me stop screen sharing.
So Dr. V, is your audio working now? Yes, it is, I think.
I believe it is.
It is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
So I can tell you one app that I would not recommend that was given to us by Dr. K.
Oh,
created
you
a
wouldn't
conflict with
recommend?
Restream. It created a conflict with Restream.
oh.
Yes. So I'm troubleshooting here, even calling people on Facebook Messenger using other things, and everybody can hear me just fine.
What's it
So
called?
Interesting.
yeah, very interesting.
What's
So
it called?
also, yeah.
Well, I'm just saying, I use Restream virtually every day, and if there's an app that might conflict with it, and I know about it ahead of time, I will not use it. But right now,
it's called Crisp.
oh, I know,
KRISP.
Yeah, I've had it for years. Yeah,
it's not playing nice today. So
good to know. Good to know.
yes.
All right, you want to share your screen?
I can. It's going to be Inception time. I'm more of a StreamYard and other type person. Let's see. Where is the screen share on this sucker? There it is.
It's the
There it
first
is, in the middle.
Share screen. I see it. Here we go. Inception.
All right, it's down there.
This is the bugger. This is the bugger that I do not recommend.
Crisp. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, so what happened was we even tried we did Dr. Kayvon K, who's one of our co-hosts on the Do It Now show on Fridays. He was recommending, oh, this is a great thing. Look at how my noise is reduced. And so during the live stream, we did the install and the whole thing. And of course, it booted everybody out the minute I got it to go. And then we all came on again. But it was a great example of when tech goes wrong, how well do you recover?
So do you want to explain what Crisp it does?
So Crisp basically is a noise reduction filtering type of app. Now I've installed it in here, so it can work with your
For
USB.
conferencing and Zoom calls and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, anything
Yeah.
that you want to do. You could do it. I mean, you can use it also for video as well as for audio. Oh, there's.
Right.
I didn't realize my little face was there. What calling app are you? I'm not using any calling apps. Thank you, Crisp. And there are back to setup. No, 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 don't do anything. This is what boots me out all the time. So you basically can reduce noise, and also not just within your microphone, but also within your output, your speakers.
Yes.
But I will say the challenge that I had here was that Restream also, when I went into the settings again after my third attempt coming back again, it turns out Restream has its own noise canceling and echo
Yes.
cancellation stuff.
And so
And
does Zoom
those,
now and Teams.
yeah. But
Hmm.
what's interesting, those were clicked on. The other thing was Restream did not save despite the fact I've used it several times, did not save my setup. So it did not save the microphone as a USB device.
Mm.
And what happens? So there are a number of different things. Sometimes just rebooting your computer will not necessarily fix the
Right.
problem if there's a conflict. If they're button heads in there. So I say use Crisp with caution with certain apps because many of these things like Zoom and Restream and others are putting noise cancellation in there already, and
Right.
Crisp's noise cancellation may cancel you out.
Yeah.
So that's my recommendation for today. But the one that I do like, and this is one that we had done. This is another AppSumo one. We have migrated. So John and I started live streaming back in March of 2020, and we just for the heck of it, we met through a mutual. I was going to say friend. I'm going to say acquaintance in the digital marketing space, and we just started streaming together because we were somewhat bored. And so we did daily live streams for about 5 weeks or so and then continued on. So we tested all kinds of different things. We looked at BeLive, we tested Ecamm, we tested all the native applications, from Facebook's thing to YouTube Studio to all the others.
What is
And
the
then
URL for this? I'm sorry, I can't see it because when I try to
it's
blow it up,
it's Melon App, MELONAPP.com.
.com.
MELONAPP.com. So Melon app. So we always joke about it. We call it the melon because we're very French here. So what's interesting about Melon is it's remarkably similar to StreamYard. And John and I have primarily used StreamYard. First his account, then my account. Then we had two accounts. We're like, why do we have two accounts? Because we're both working together. It doesn't make any sense. So we consolidated a lot of our tools and software together because it enabled us to leverage things much better for our Epic Win agency doing video marketing for clients. But the Melon app is quite intriguing because it has a different interface. It gets a little confusing when you're moving from one thing like StreamYard into Melon, but Melon had a lot of little features that StreamYard was lacking in terms of the ability to move your logo around, some of the video feeds. They have a number of different countdown videos that are preloaded, and a lot of different. I mean, if you can probably see in their demo thing, there's just a lot of different looks that you can come up with.
right?
And in fact, the features are remarkably similar, but they also have different looks when it comes to featuring people. And this is just an example of what they do in terms of right now. We do LinkedIn Live because for some reason I got approved, and John and I were struggling to get LinkedIn Live for the longest time. But then this is the typical thing that I'll do is I'll just put in my title, and then I actually use Jasper, which formerly Jarvis, to help to write the descriptions of our videos. And I always put my little 3 hashtags down at the bottom because the people who do the best on YouTube only use the 3 hashtags. But I like this one a lot. This was a lifetime deal on AppSumo. It's no longer there. And I bought it like at 11:57 or something the night when it was about to expire.
Right.
But the pricing is remarkably similar to StreamYard. I mean,
And
StreamYard's
Restream. I'm looking at the
yeah,
pricing page on Restream and stuff.
49.15. And so
Right.
so but the funny thing is that the Melon app can go to a lot more locations than StreamYard can.
Oh yeah.
So I thought that was pretty cool. But we're still learning it, and of course, when you pay annually, you're going to do, a lot better in terms of the pricing.
Yeah.
most people I know pay monthly because it's a cash flow thing, and also you don't want to get trapped
Right.
into something that you really don't want to. You're not totally sure about. But anyway, but Melon is just I'm beginning to like Melon more and more. And of course, you get their free stuff and the multi-stream thing, as I said before. The cloud-based stuff is interesting. The challenge with the cloud-based is you've got like 30 days or so, or because StreamYard had a 15-day limit in terms of what they would store, and so you have to keep downloading your videos. So in fact, I may wind up downloading or uploading some of our videos to John's. Was it the Adio? Is that what you're talking about earlier?
Adillo.
Hilo, yeah.
Adillo, like armadillo without the
Kind
arm.
of.
Okay.
With the arm.
Exactly. But that's one of the big things is that and StreamYard's thing was good because they gave you like 50 gigs a month, and it didn't matter how long there wasn't an expiration in terms of time. It was in
Right.
terms of storage, and that's one thing I really loved about StreamYard. Melon has less storage. But it's like, and we're just still playing with it because this is relatively new to us, actually. So
I was looking at it. It looks really pretty.
It
it's
is.
beautiful. It
All
is.
right.
The graphics
We have
are
to let Heather go, but we're going to keep going a few minutes past this. Bye, Heather.
okay.
Bye, Heather.
I gotta
Heather has
stop my
another
screen.
live engagement to go to.
I gotta stop my screen.
No, well,
There we
hold on. If
No?
that was your last one,
Oh,
why not show folks Jasper? Because I bet
oh,
a lot of folks here have never thought about Copy.ai or Jasper or
You can
any
do
of the
that.
other
do you want to show it, or you want me to show? Because I have access
I
to
don't have an
John's
account there
Yeah,
technology.
go ahead. Go ahead. It's
All
fine.
right, let me see if I can do it.
You probably have more
Um,
samples of stuff in it than I do.
I do a lot of stuff in here actually,
but
including
I
food
do
blog
like it in
stuff.
some ways.
I
Looking
keep
for
trying it.
Jasper.
Eventually, it's going to be good enough for me to use for something.
It's
But
sometimes it's a little tragic. I'll be honest with you. The
You know,
best example I can give you about how tragic Jasper can actually be is that anytime I write a email headline for my wife's Mexican food blog, every fifth one says Cinco de Mayo.
Yeah.
And I like, you guys are idiots. It's Christmas. Nobody's thinking about Cinco de Mayo. Is it
I
sharing
think
yet?
it's the only Mexican
no,
holiday.
it's not sharing yet. Okay, here we go.
There we are. Okay. Yeah, they think it's the only Mexican holiday.
Yeah,
So
it's not a
these are the
Mexican
one.
holiday, really.
It's more of an American. Well, no, it
Yeah,
is a Mexican
it's
holiday
more of an. It's
insofar
been
as,
Americanized very much.
yeah. I mean, it's just the Cinco de Mayo is the victory of the
Yeah,
Mexicans against the French
right.
in one particular battle. But Mexican independence, I think it's the 16th of September when they do the grito in Mexico City and they fly the flags and fireworks and everything. But Americans, the average white guy in the United States has no idea when Mexican Independence Day
No.
is.
Right.
When I'm indoctrinated at this point. So speaking of indoctrination, I guess that Jarvis changed his name to Jasper because these folks were afraid of getting sued by Disney for Iron Man's computer, which was called Jarvis.
Oh no, they
So
got threatened.
they got threatened. I thought
They
they
got threatened.
felt
Yeah,
threatened.
they almost
No,
certainly got a
they
cease and
got
desist letter.
threatened.
Yeah,
They got well. Nobody wants to cross the Disney attorneys
no,
because they are like the sharks that you would see in
in Finding Nemo.
Finding Nemo. Yeah, yeah.
Exactly.
In which case, fish aren't our friends. Fish are friends, not food. Well, it's like anybody who has a name similar to us is food for
Yeah,
the sharks that are there.
Yes.
So I'll give you an example. Email subject lines. That's probably the best one. My favorites. So these are ones that I seem to use not that much. I don't use the YouTube ones that much. I use the content improver. I use the email subject lines. So, but if I go to my favorite templates, I think that you'll see. Yeah, I like the AIDA framework. The PAS I use most of all.
Yeah.
And then when it comes to email subject lines, you'll see some examples in here. This is probably pretty easy. So here's Mama Mae's Kitchen food blog. Let's go to the history that I stored. So Easter is coming. We have best Mexican food recipes. I can give you an example of how this will crank out. Let's just try. Yeah, let's see. Mouthwatering Mexican food. So I put that in there. The problem is, oh great. Now I can't get to the content thing. Where is it? Come here. I can't generate because my screen.
change the size of your
I can.
browser.
No, I just have to hide it. That's what I have to
There
do.
we go.
So this will crank
So in
out
case
something.
it's not clear to anyone, Jasper uses the probably best known general AI engine out there called GTP3. And
Mhm.
what it's doing is it's sort of like a paid front end to to that general AI. And what it does is it basically reads everything it can text on the internet.
Yeah.
And then it uses that sort of slicing and dicing of that various language sources that it finds in order to generate short copy. They say they can do long copy. They're not there yet. But
No.
for short copy, like a paragraph of something or an intro paragraph or a headline or an
Headlines.
email
Yeah.
subject line,
Yeah.
not bad. And
So like,
so they guarantee two
yeah.
things. It'll be fast
Yeah.
and it will be as much as, like I was going to say, as much as humanly possible, as much as AI possible. It will not plagiarize anyone else.
Yeah, and I will say that I always use caution. You can see here, for example, they're sticking emojis in there, but emojis will actually reduce your deliverability. You think that it's going to be wonderful, but it's not necessarily the case. So I've just done more tacos on Tuesday with something exciting, and hopefully, come on, generate something, you bugger.
You know the funny analogy that came to me as Dean was saying this? It's
Oh, because I'm not in here. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, but Jasper's kind of like the people who emigrate to the U.S. and learn English from watching TV.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So just to
Yeah,
put
like
it in
for-
context, right? Compared to what Heather was showing, Heather is
Yeah.
AI-based tools to help you improve or tweak what you've already written.
Right.
Jasper will do the writing for you with
Yes.
just a couple of prompts. And then basically the order is reversed. Then it's your job to take what it made and go in and edit it and fix it and make it like, good again and
Yes.
so on. And that's sort of where I fell apart on these things and just got tired because I can literally write it. I can write the
Faster.
inversion faster without putting a tool between me and the inversion. But I do
and this
hope and pray that they get like better and better so I can find a use for it. And I keep dipping my toe in the water, but so far it's not there for me yet.
Yeah, and the interesting thing is I found that many of the things that I originally wrote and stuck into this were better than what Jasper would put out. And so I came to recognize that I have more sort of moderate copywriting skills than the AI does. So it's like I haven't been replaced by a human.
Has it occurred to you that every time you put in something for Jasper that's good, it becomes part of its general knowledge and then it's using that to help other people
Could
write
be.
better stuff?
It could actually,
Yeah,
that
So
could
you're
be
actually
true.
training the AI for
Yes.
any perceived competitor or just someone adjacent at the same time.
Yeah, I want to just do jalapeno time and see what comes up just for
Yeah.
the heck of it. But it's so funny when I was doing Christmas stuff. It's jalapeno time. There we go. Get your jalapenos before they're all gone. Only 2 days left to order your jalapenos. So
So there you go.
You can't spell jalapeno right.
Basically, what I find people who
Well,
use
yeah,
it a
it's true.
lot is it's the end of the day. They're kind of
There we
tired.
go.
They do not have the
I'm
energy to
tired in
come
the
up with
morning.
10 of these. So they just go bang and it'll come up with 10 pretty good, okay-ish, pretty good ones. Then, if they don't want to put a lot of effort into it, they can just grab one and start using it. So it's pretty,
I
it's good to
actually
get
like,
past writer's block for anyone who's ever had
but
writer's
but
block.
here's something interesting. So jalapeno time got me jalapeno time, jalapeno time, jalapeno time. It's jalapeno time, jalapeno time. Get your fix of jalapeno madness. Now that actually is my favorite.
Yeah.
So
There
it
you
took
go.
several trials, but you eventually get there. So
A pepper unlike any other.
a pepper unlike any other.
So there
That's
we
a
go.
pretty good one too.
Wouldn't you like to be a pepper too?
Yeah.
I find it makes a good start tool, or at least
Yeah.
gets you thinking about
It's a
different things.
brainstorming tool.
It
That's
is.
the way I use it. So
Yeah, me too.
my favorite tool, by the way, is the yellow box cutter, because with all the Amazon stuff that we have delivered here, I have to
Yeah.
cut these things down for recycling. So
Yes.
favorite
All right.
tool.
Well, that's Tools Thursday. Third time in a row we've done this now.
Tools
We may
Thursday.
never ever run out of tools. Honest to God,
I don't
we're
think
all
I could
using and
do this
experimenting.
I got a
forever.
whole
with so many.
toolbox down here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that's it. Any final words from John or Chris, Dr. V? Or
Let's
can we let the
see.
folks
No,
go?
just if there's anything we can help with or answer any more questions on any of the stuff we talked about today, hey,
Yeah.
feel free to reach out. We might even have discounts on some of the stuff. So,
And
just
I think if you need
awesome.
guidance, I think the best thing to do always is to seek out people who have experience with tools,
Yeah.
and they can tell you, most importantly, which things to avoid, and
Yes.
to kind of go over the potholes rather than through them and get yourself out of alignment.
Yeah. In the long run, the real cost of tools is not the learning curve. The real cost is wasting your time on stuff that was never going to do
Yeah.
what you needed to
Yeah.
do or was never going to fit you.
Definitely.
All right. Thanks, everyone.